Willkommen! Wenn Sie meinen Videos noch nie gesehen haben, bin ich Ross der Oliver Mann. Und heute werden wir diese Zahnradfabrik AGCO wieder zusammenbauen. Lass uns anfangen! So today we're going to put together this front axle, which is German, Zahnradfabrik, and we are going to hopefully do this without much difficulty. As it turns out, I think that they must have changed the axle since they made the service book, and I can put in some pictures. But in the service book, it had a whole section talking about how you had to heat this back bearing up, pull it off, heat up the bearing, put it in the hub, then put your seal in, then slide it on the hub. And in that other picture where they talk about removing this sealing surface ring, you can actually see that this is lower than the top of the bearing. So yeah, you would have to install the seal and everything that way, but somebody must have figured out that it would be a lot simpler to just make this sealing surface taller than the bearing so you didn't have to fool with that. And luckily, that is the case. Now, this leads to another question, which is, if you were to order the seal and everything through AGCO, would you get the correct thing for this axle? I do not know, If they just changed the axle at the beginning of the production and they never retook the photos for the service book, then maybe it's fine. But if they switched the axle halfway through, I can't tell you what you would get. But what I did was I found a place on the internet that is the distributor for ZF axles in the US. It is called Palmer Johnson Power Systems. And this was a great place to deal with. I called them up, told them what I was working on, a ZF axle, and the system that these Germans have come up with these axles is very efficient, no surprise. But I'll show you, we'll look at the tag and I'll explain what I'm talking about. So, you can see the tag, and it tells you that this is a APL-365E axle. But then it also tells you over here, it says parts list number. Anyway, that's the number that you use, and you give it to them, and they can look up the exact parts book for this axle. And it was really a very simple setup. What he did was, he emailed me the parts book back, and the parts book actually covered 3 axles, but I used the column that said 042 because that's what my number is here at the end. And so all I had to do is go to that page that had the parts in that column, and that's the part numbers I gave him, and ta-da, I have the parts. And like I said, everything was like half price of what it was through the dealer. So a very good place to deal with, and very easy to figure out what you need. So here is our new seal. And this is our little wiper ring that's actually, it will go on here like this. And I actually conferred with someone else to make sure I was going to do this right. And we both concluded the same thing. I'm not saying that we are right, but it makes sense that the thin lip goes to the non-rotating surface. So that's the way I'm going to put this on. But that's how it goes in there. Seal first, and then this wiper piece. And here's the service book for the 9650. Nice thick piece of paper there. But I think we should be in good shape to just go ahead and get started. We'll get the old seal out and start putting things back together. And then we'll refer to the book to set our tension on the bearings. I've got I call them a fish scale, but just a spring scale that you can pull to get your rolling force on. So I just got that. I thought it looked a lot better than the old-timey spring scales and stuff that I got. So we'll give that a try. So we'll see how we can get this seal pried out. I don't know how difficult it will be. I'll probably destroy the bucket that I'm working on. Come on, come on. We're so close. There we go. There we go. And we look at the old one. Because of all the spinning, it's totally erased all the numbers that were on it. I was just curious to see if it had the same number as the new one, but that ship sailed, so. But I think it does, because it looks identical to our new one. Now, I'm thinking that we need to clean on this area a little bit. And of course we want to use a rag that's dirty so that we get trash in there. You can see pieces of that wear ring that have gotten ground out of there and stuck to places. We got to use brake clean. I mean, that's like part of the procedure. Let's see how this other side looks. Now, I think we are ready for the very tedious part of putting this seal in such a way that we do not destroy it. Because that would be very, very sad if this were to be destroyed, as it was quite expensive. I do not have a piece of anything that would fit over this, so I'm thinking it just says in there to go around and kind of tap it in. I'm kind of nervous about that though. I don't feel like. Got to be very careful that we get it started evenly. There we go. This is going to be a real trick to get it all the way down in there, because I don't really want to just beat on it mercilessly. Getting it flush, that's no problem. if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm using the side of this chisel to drive it down in so that I don't have to get my hammer right next to that lip. And in theory, I was thinking that the long surface of this would give it more area to drive on. So that was what that was about. Oh, I know what I can do. Can I do that still? I just had an idea. This is why I really wish that I hadn't destroyed this quite so much. If I could use the old seal to drive this down in there. But I think it's too mangled now. It's going to cause more harm than good. So, this might be the ticket here. Ooh, no, it's not the ticket, is it? It's going to have to go that way. But I think I can be pretty aggressive with this old seal. As long as I use my head about it. Shoot, that was working so good, but there. I think we're about all the way down. We're down, 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 down. Yep. So the old seal for the win there. That was the last job it'll do, but that really worked a lot better than any punch or chisel or anything. That got it down in there without a lot less aggressive marking than I was starting to do with the other stuff. Next, we'll see how this wiper piece fits in. It's going to fit in very snugly, which is good. It is going to compress this lip as we tighten the bearings. So that fits in there nice and tight. So I don't think it'll, Guten tight. And I don't think that it will spin. I was kind of worried about that. Maybe this would just spin loose and mangle, but I think it's going to be fine. Next thing I'm going to do, the book says luber plate, but I do not like luber plate, so I'm just going to use some grease and lube everything up really well so that there's no chance that we destroy this, because I do not want to have to buy this again. Okay, so I think we're ready to put this on again. Boy, does that make you nervous, but it's got to happen, so let's go for it. All right, here we go. Very gently. Oh, it just fits on there beautifully. Come on, bearing. No, we don't want that. Just sit on there nicely so that I can Well, it appears that we're on our way here. We need to put that gear back on. We need to put this O-ring in though first, because it'll be a lot easier to do it now. This O-ring seals the two halves of the hub together here. So we need to do a little quick cleaning. I should have probably done that before, but oh well. There we go. Okay. Let's give this a quick blowing off here. And let it dry, because I think brake clean eats rubber, so that was probably a smart thing to put on there. Brand new German O-ring. Ja, das ist gut. It's a lot nicer than the old one. Let's give it a lubin too. Now we'll put that ring gear back on, and then we'll try to attempt to tighten it in some such way that I hope we can do and get it correct. Now my little mark. Can I still see my mark? Okay. I'm gonna probably have to get down lower. Fat man down. Okay. Let's see here. I'm off by 1 tooth there. That is where that was exactly. So now we shall see if we can tighten it back like it was, or whether we need to go more. I'm thinking that's why they wanted you to reference this, was if you needed to get this nut tighter by just a shade, you could move this drum 1 tooth, and then that would move your lock plate holes over just a little bit. Whereas if you just moved your lock plate over, you'd have to make a jump of that much or more. So we're gonna try it and see. If I think I can get it better by moving it, then that's what I'm gonna do. Oh boy, once again, I bet Hans has a good tool for this that fits exactly, but I don't, so. Get in there. Oh, what fun. What fun this is. I'm just glad it's working. Now, how far are we from our reference punch mark? I don't see. Let's have a look here. Did my punch mark not stay? No, there it is. This slot was up here. Ooh, it's going to be hard to get that far too. Why is it going to be that hard? I was worried that we were going to be too loose, but I think we need to be at least as tight as we were, because we're using old bearings. Let me get a better position on it. That is right where it was. We can do the test on it and pull it with the scale, but I don't think that it's there's no play in it at all. Okay, with used bearings, it should take 14 to 17 pounds of pull to rotate this affair. Yo. Well, it was more than that, but I think it's in the spec of the new bearings, because the new bearings was 20 to 24, I believe. Let's look here. I'll take you with me so you can see the book. Okay, so check rolling hub. I didn't do the string. I wonder if that's important to the reading. Or let's see, yeah, 20 to 24 pull with new bearings, 14 to 17 with old bearings. So I think that we're probably good, because if I just pull on this, well, it takes about 24 steady pull. If I pull, there we go. I'm going to call that 24, and I'm going to call that good. It's where it was before. I think that it's probably fine. There's no play in it, and it wasn't that the bearings went out, it was that the seal just started leaking. So I'm not opposed to putting it back like this. Now we will get our lock plate put in, and then start putting our other half back on here, and then we should be able to fill it with oil in just a few minutes. So let's get working on this. I want this clean. One, eins, zwei. I want this axle to feel as comfortable as possible, so we'll speak German whenever we can. I think that I could probably go just a tick more, although those do fit in there. I think I'll leave it alone. They fit in. It says you're supposed to tighten them to 71 foot-pounds, but that's a doable number by hand without special tools. I am going to put a little bit of Loctite on it, just to be sure. Oh, this is gel. That's why. I don't remember buying that. But I want those to be scooting tight, so. So we're going to put some on. They definitely were in there good to start with, so. About 71 foot-pounds, if not more. So it ain't going anywhere. Okay, I think we're ready for our two halves to become one again. We got our new O-ring on. I did have to get one new bolt because if you remember, we heated this one and rounded out the center, so that one's garbage. But somewhere here, I should have my good one. You need to hunt that up first. Oh, I know where it is. I put it over on this with the wheel lug bolts. So we have that ready. Get our new one ready. And that's cool that it has a different size head from the other one. Isn't that nice? I hope that the head size is the same. I think it is. So now it's going to take two different tools. I should have just ordered two bolts and I didn't, but that's fine. Okay. Come on, jump in there, guys. I know there's a lot of gears to mesh up, but let's go. There. Oh, that was difficult, kind of. Now, get that over the O-ring. There we go. Let's tighten the other side too, evenly. Not quite though. There we go. There's one. And what luck that while I was doing that, accidentally, I got this almost level, which is good because that's where you fill it at. It's when this line is horizontal. So that's dandy. We'll put some oil in and we can always add more later when we get it up on its wheel. But for now, we can at least fill it as far as we can, and hopefully we'll have something that works again. And the book calls for AGCO 715, which is GL5, which is 80/90. So that's what we're going to put back in it. Oh yeah. Switch to a different bottle, then we'll pour them all together and try again. I have no idea how much it's supposed to hold. I started to look that up, but oh yeah, there we go. Ooh, this holds that much. Not, I thought it would hold more. I wasn't ready. I think I will look it up now to see how much it holds, because I thought it would hold more than that. It didn't even hold 2 quarts. I think it will hold full 2 quarts if it's a little more level. So I'll double check it after a while when I get it up and moving. I wish I had had the motivation or time to clean this wheel up a little better, but I didn't. So once we get it moving, we can take it and power wash it. I kind of started to, and I didn't have much luck cutting that grease out with what I had on hand. So come on, Pittsburgh Jack. You sagged off over the time we were gone. Come on. I'm pumping as hard as I can. Now, I think we're up high enough. Yeah. Got that back. Then we need our socket and our nuts. Where did they go? Oh, there they are. Okay. Well, this might be a good time for the impact. We took them off by hand, but we can put them on as far as we can go with the impact, and then put our pipe on and make sure they're super tight. Good and tight. It'll be interesting to see later when I come home if it's got a puddle on the floor. I kind of got the clean part of the rim down, so there's so many things I should have done if I had more time and didn't need to use this. I should have touched up this black paint so it wasn't all scratched, but whatever. Paint don't pull, so it's fine. Will you fit in there? No? No? We're gonna be that kind of a day where it's I think my Hobo Freight Chinesium impact is getting tired. It's probably about time to buy a new one. Oh, there's always one. I don't understand why that's so hard to go on there. That makes no sense whatsoever. Well, in usual fashion, it can't just go simply. This particular stud absolutely will not take a nut now. I don't know why. And then I thought, maybe it's just the nut. So I took one off of here, and now I've ruined 2 nuts because neither one wants to screw on anything more than part way. So I guess I'll order 2 new nuts and at least have one for here. I know that that's fine because I took the one off here and put it down here, so I know that this part isn't messed up. But I'm gonna have to figure out why this is not wanting to play ball. I really don't understand it. It doesn't look bad, and I took them off with a breaker bar by hand, so I don't understand why it won't let me put them together at all. It's just another one of those things that I get to deal with for some reason. But we'll put it back on the ground and do our final tightening by hand here and see if we have any leaks when I come back later, and then we'll know whether we accomplished something or not. So it's been several days, and so far it looks like we have no leaks. I went ahead and greased up everything on the rest of the axle again, so it should be ready to roll whenever it dries up. We got about 3 inches of rain or more, so it's going to be a little while now before we can use it. But so far I've run it around here and it looks like we got it fixed, so that's a good thing. As always, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.